Hey folks, it's Finn. This week I would like to talk about dating when you are transgender, and more specifically using dating apps when you are transgender, which is actually far more complicated than it should be. As you know, I have been saying for a while that I need to get back out there on the dating horse. Why do they call it the dating horse? Answers on a postcard. Anyway, being serious, I'm being stared at by gerbils. What? I am still pretty new to the world of dating, and as I've explained in the past, I'm new to dating in terms of being me, in terms of being sober, and in terms of not having a clue what my sexual orientation is. I seem to be attracted to lots of people, and that's fine. I am not looking for a label, but I would like to explore it. But it is still unnerving to think that at this age, I'm exploring my sexuality. Another reason that dating is complicated is because dating is not straightforward when you are transgender, although it damn well should be. The reason for this really comes in when you're using dating apps, and so I kind of want to talk about being trans and using dating apps. The question comes up, how does a transgender person use a dating app? Do I disclose the fact that I'm transgender on my dating profile or not? So far, I've used a mix of both. At first, I didn't declare it across any of my platforms. Any of my platforms makes me sound like a right trans bicycle, doesn't it? I realised last year that you can't be on Grindr and not say that you're transgender. It's just too complicated because Grindr is really just about having sex, from what I've experienced on there. So people need to know in advance, otherwise, you know, it's just complicated, and you can't have people coming around your house for a hookup expecting one thing and getting another. It can lead to complicated situations and possibly dangers. So on Grindr, I disclosed. Although now I'm off Grindr because I don't want that kind of hookup. That's not what I'm into right now. I want something deeper. Oh, but not in that way. So I'm using Tinder and OkCupid, and on both of those, I have not disclosed my transgender identity, my transgender history, blah blah blah. The reason I don't disclose straight off is because of two reasons, really. You either attract people who think that being trans is a bit of fetish and they want to just like tick a nice fetish off their list. I am not your fetish, darling. Or somebody might read transgender and panic and think they don't know how to deal with somebody who's transgender, don't want to offend people, so then they just don't message. So this is one of the reasons why it's not on my profile. My thinking is more, I would like to connect with people and then it naturally evolves into a conversation. For me, there's no moral obligation at all to ever disclose. It's a medical fact that things have been changed for me, but there is no moral obligation there to say anything. However, how I feel is that in getting close to somebody, I'd want to share my past with them and what's gone on. And also, if there's going to be sex, people need to understand that that will happen differently with me currently. I've only had one date off of a dating app, and that was last year when I dated a cisgendered male. And that was fine. I didn't disclose on my profile, but when we met, I brought up the subject so we could discuss it. And he reacted completely fine. In fact, there was just no spark between us, so it was just like, oh, whatever. But at the same time, it didn't go badly or anything, so it's worked for me. So this week, after reminding myself of a vlog I made a few weeks ago where I said I was going to get back out there, I decided to just revamp my profile a bit and see if I could get myself some dates. So again, didn't disclose my transgender identity, and I had a message from a chap. We started chatting, as you do. He turned around to me and said, "So when did you come out?" Well, To which I replied, it's a bit complicated. Technically, I've been out since my early 20s. However, I first came out as a lesbian. Pregnant pause. And then he just responded in a really human manner. It was just, wow. I'm not often stumped, but I am now. And you must have gone through some really difficult times in your life. Good for you, and thank you for telling me. Which was just a lovely response to receive. And even better than that, he didn't then go off into, like, what was your birth name? Have you got a dick? And all of that. He did use the phrase, you couldn't tell from your profile, but he actually qualified it in it by saying, look, I don't mean to sound cliche, but, you know, there's no way you can tell. But it wasn't done in that normal kind of icky way. And he did also make a comment about, are you all done with your surgeries? And when I replied, kind of, I'm getting there. So I think he was fishing to find out, but it was done in a very considerate and human way. And it's lovely. So far, so good. I do usually prefer to wait till I meet people, but it just naturally evolved. And that's the way I want to do it, that it'll come up in conversation. I don't feel I have to sit down with someone and go, right, I need to tell you something. I feel more like connect with people and then let the conversation evolve and let people know. That's how I want to go about it. So, yes, I have a date next week. I need to get back out there and work out where I'm attracted and what I want. It's all these loads of different questions still in my head about who I'm attracted to, what kind of relationship I want. Last year it was so exciting. You know, I met the sexological bodywork who completely changed everything for me. She was a cisgendered woman, and that was really empowering in realising that I could have relationships with cisgendered women and feel wonderful. Unfortunately, we didn't work out, but what she gave me, I will carry with me forever. And I had some poly relationships. I was part of a couple, and that was amazing. One guy was transgender, one was non-binary. I had a date with a trans woman. You know, exploring all of this is incredible. But where I'm still a bit nervous is around cisgendered males, because that's just where my dysphoria comes up, because I end up feeling less than. So, you know, this is exciting for me. This is really, 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 really exciting. Can you tell? So yes, that's my jumbled thoughts around dating when you're trans and using dating apps when you're trans. I don't know. I think it's all about working out what's best for you by trial and error. Really. Most importantly, it's about keeping safe. It's always about keeping safe with these dating apps, and I think as transgender folk, we just have to be a little bit more vigilant about keeping ourselves safe, because you never know how some people are going to react. I would love you to share your dating experiences with me. Trans or not trans, it would be lovely to hear your experiences of dating when you're older, dating in new circumstances, using dating apps. I'd love for you to message in the comments below and tell me all of your stories. Let's share. I'll see you next week anyway before I have the date, but I will update. Don't forget, I update so often on all my other social media stuff, so if you want to get like more inside info, then do follow me over on my Twitter, my Instagram, my website, and on the FinnFam community page. So if you want to keep up to date with all the instant goings on, do check me out over on those. It'd be lovely for you to read my writing. I'm still getting that out there, and all your support has been amazing. Thank you so, so much. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great rest of week and a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.